Haunted, the Firehouse tragedy. The town of Burnson, established in the late 1800s, was proud of its historic firehouse, one of the oldest in the country. Built in 1889, it had seen countless fires, rescues, and brave firefighters over the decades. But beneath the brick facade and polished fire engines lay a chilling secret, a legacy of betrayal, murder, and revenge. It started on a humid summer evening. The firehouse bell clanged, echoing through the station with urgency. Firefighters scrambled to gear up. Captain Mike Hastings barked orders, leading his team of seasoned and rookie firefighters to the engine. But when they reached the truck, panic set in. "All 4 tires are flat," said rookie firefighter Danny Alvarez, kneeling to inspect them. "How the hell did this happen?" Mike demanded, his voice sharp with frustration. Mechanics were called, and the tires were replaced in record time. But by the time the crew reached the scene, the inferno had consumed the house. Firefighters rushed in, but it was too late. The family of 4 trapped inside had succumbed to the blaze. Back at the station, the mood was grim. "It doesn't make sense," said veteran firefighter Sarah Green. "We checked the truck last night. Everything was fine." The next day, just as the sun dipped below the horizon, the fire alarm blared again. Determined not to repeat the previous night's mistakes, the crew checked the truck meticulously. Tires, inflated, equipment, loaded. They set off with renewed determination. Arriving at the fire, a massive warehouse blaze, they leapt into action, only to discover the hoses were missing. Every hose, meticulously coiled the night before, had vanished. Screams pierced the air as flames devoured the building. The firefighters were powerless to stop the tragedy. Back at the station, they searched every inch and found the hoses tucked away in a dusty corner of the basement. No one could explain how they got there. As the days went on, the mishaps escalated. Alarms blared randomly, equipment malfunctioned, and vehicles refused to start. Lives were lost on each call, leaving the crew demoralized and increasingly suspicious of one another. The fire department launched an investigation. Cameras were installed throughout the station, monitoring every nook and cranny. When the team reviewed the footage, their blood ran cold. Doors slammed shut on their own. Chairs moved across the floor. Invisible forces shredded documents and sabotaged equipment. The footage showed the fire truck being vandalized, not by human hands, but by something unseen. The team began digging into the firehouse's history. Sarah uncovered an old newspaper article buried in the archives. 1889 tragedy. 5 firefighters murdered by fellow crewmen in Burnson Firehouse. The article detailed a horrific night when a disgruntled firefighter, fueled by jealousy and rage, had slaughtered his colleagues. The motive? A promotion denied. The murderer was hanged, but the station's dark history had been largely forgotten. "We're dealing with the ghosts of those men," Sarah said, "and they're angry." Desperate, the team decided to communicate with the spirits. They gathered in the station at midnight, armed with nothing but courage and a single candle. "We're here to help you move on," Mike said, his voice steady. "Why are you doing this?" The temperature dropped. Shadows danced on the walls, though no one moved. A raspy voice echoed, filling the room. "We died for nothing. If we're gone, everyone should be." Chaos erupted. Lockers slammed open, helmets flew across the room, and the candle extinguished. The crew fled, barely escaping the wrath of the unseen entities. The next morning, they convened in a diner far from the firehouse. "We have to destroy it," Sarah said. "It's the only way to free them." The team hesitated. Burning down the historic firehouse felt like betrayal, but as the memories of the tragedies piled up, they knew they had no choice. That night, they doused the station with gasoline and set it ablaze. As flames consumed the building, unearthly screams echoed through the night, growing louder until they abruptly stopped. The firehouse crumbled, taking its secrets with it. 6 months later, Burnson Fire Department operated from a modern facility down the street. The calls resumed, but there were no strange incidents. The team felt relief for the first time in months. One evening as they finished dinner, the alarm sounded. Suiting up, they checked the truck. Everything was in order. They sped to the scene of a house fire. When they arrived, the fire raged, but what they saw chilled them to the bone. Standing in the flames, untouched by the heat, were the ghosts of the murdered firefighters, staring back at them with empty eyes. One ghost raised a hand and pointed. The truck's engine sputtered and died. The hoses coiled themselves tightly in the back, and the screams began again.